today we're getting our life together. I haven't done one of these May reset routines in a minute, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of start out with bringing you guys along. And I'm just gonna like run some errands and bring you guys through the day. And we are gonna get into my monthly goals. If you do enjoy this kind of style for this reset routine, make sure to let me know down in the comments and I'll make more vlog style reset routines in the future. And make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But with all that said, let's go get coffee.
Dessa fantasia foi sentimento e a fotografia, tudo que ficou.
We're getting our life back together in this reset routine. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I had a rough start to the year. Suddenly it's already May pretty much. I don't know where the time went, but it's never too late to get our lives back on track. That's my motto this year and probably the years to come. Let's get into it. I spent the last like 30 minutes just getting my goals and intentions back in order for the month of May. I also logged the books that I've read so far, so we're gonna get into all of that. First, starting out with my May monthly intentions. We're not even gonna look at the intentions for the previous months. Before we get into monthly intentions, I always like to take a look at my annual intentions to see if there's anything that I can check off, and also to see if there's anything that I want to maybe get rid of or change. Even though we set intentions for the beginning of the year, it doesn't mean that they have to be static and unchanging, because we evolve as humans and grow, so it only makes sense that your goals would change too. So I did cross off a couple in my financial goals that I set for the year. The first one was to buy a reliable SUV, and I did that recently. I shared that whole thing and journey here on YouTube. I was able to cross that off. And then also my backyard renovation part 1, which was just to add a retaining wall and to flatten out like the bottom part of the hill. So I got that done as well. Pretty happy with those two things getting done in the first half of the year, because I pretty much am going to take a pause on financial, and now I'm going to be focusing on health and personal and professional the next couple of months, probably in the next couple of quarters of the year. Getting into my monthly intentions. So for health and wellness, I really want to wake up early. I said around 6:30, but I don't really necessarily need to set a time. I just want to wake up when the sun rises. And lately, the days have been a lot longer here in Oregon. The sun has been rising a lot earlier. Like it usually rises around 6:30 in the morning, and then it doesn't set until like 8:30 p.m., almost 9. It'll be 8:45 and you can still see light in the sky. So I want to take advantage of the longer days. Usually I feel more productive when the sun's out, when the light is out. So we're waking up early, and I'm still gonna be signing into work around 8 or 8:30. So that way I can have some time in the morning to do some self-care, because self-care is so important for my mental health, physical health. Waking up early, that is the goal, and doing some form of self-care. Number 2 is to be mindful of my carb intake and to try to eat at least 30 grams of protein at every meal, especially breakfast. Breakfast is like the #1 meal that I want to be eating my protein at. And the reason for this, especially like the carb, is that I recently learned, I got like my blood drawn and all of that, and I recently learned that I'm very much insulin resistant. And it makes sense because like obesity and diabetes and things like that run in my family. So that's why I decided to go get checked for that, because I want to be mindful and prepared and like doing whatever it takes to not have any diseases that run in my family. Like even just being mindful of eating fiber and protein before eating heavy carbs. Like it doesn't mean that I can't eat carbs, it just means being more mindful of the order that I'm eating things in, making sure that I'm eating more protein, because protein and fiber also prevents like spikes in my blood glucose levels, and I just want to make sure that they're a little bit more steady. My third goal is also to walk at least 30 minutes every single day. If you're new here, I have an injury in my neck and upper back from a car accident that happened September 30th, 2023, and I'm still recovering, still not recovered. And so I love to run and I want to get back to running, and in order to do that, I just have to do my PT exercises and be patient, because apparently it could take 1 to 2 years for it all to fully heal, and until it heals I can't really start running. So for now, the best that I can do is walking and doing my PT exercises. I will be incorporating a little bit of lifting as I can, like for example leg press or seated calf raises, and I think I'm going to be trying to share more of that journey on TikTok and Instagram as well. So if you're not following me there, make sure to do that. And then I also just need to drink 80 ounces of water a day, and for me that's like drinking 2 of my big Simple Modern water bottles. It's like my favorite water bottle. So getting right into business and financial. So for me, business is posting on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Social media, sharing my life online is my business, and so I have to treat it like that, even though it is also like a hobby and a passion of mine. I want to be more intentional this month when it comes to my business in general. So I'm glad that I'm getting my life back together right now. For one, I want to plan my content weekly, and I've noticed that for me it's just currently easiest to plan it out weekly using my notes app and then just checking things off as I get them done. Because whenever I write it down on paper, like I have this bullet journal that my friend gifted me and I love it. I love using it and I love to write in it and color in it, but I just noticed I don't open it daily or like as often as I should in order to go in and check things off, and it's just so convenient to do it in the notes app. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'll probably film like weekly resets and go through that with you guys as well sometimes. And then my other goal is to post 3 times weekly on Instagram and TikTok, and just to kind of start growing those communities as well. I still love YouTube, and I think YouTube is like my #1 platform. Because of my recent injury, it just hurts to sit for long periods of time, and to edit YouTube videos, it takes me so much time and I have to sit down and focus for hours at a time. So for me, I've had to cut back to about 1 video per week. It really is such a pain to have to sit down for so many hours, and I literally can't physically. It hurts. So I've noticed that to compensate for the lack of content in long form, I can easily create so many more reels and things that I can share with you guys on Instagram and TikTok, and it just takes me a lot less time. And I have so many ideas for like TikToks and Instagram reels and series that I want to share with you all, and then I never find time to edit them. So I am making a schedule. I'm hoping to post them every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, or maybe just every couple of days, but consistently. So follow me on Instagram if you want to see that content. I'll try to share some to like YouTube Shorts as well. And then for home and personal, I had to change this 3rd section in my goals sheet because now that I have a house, I feel like there's monthly things that I need to do or plan for my house. So the first one is to update the mulch beds outside. It's about to be summer and I want to keep things looking nice. We recently took all the weeds out of the front yard because they were getting pretty bad. I mean, it had been a year since they were taken out. So I read online that a good way to update your mulch beds before you add the mulch, kind of keep down the amount of grass that starts growing there and like weeds and stuff, is to put down cardboard. So I'm gonna do that. We've been saving like every Amazon box in the garage so that we can cut it up and put it on top of the mulch beds, water it down, and then add new mulch. We'll probably do that to the front yard first to just keep, you know, the front yard looking a little bit nicer. Want to be a good neighbor as well. And then the backyard, guys, the backyard is a big project. Like it's gonna take probably years to get it how I want it to look, but step 1 is done. We also want to get like some furniture, so I'll be looking on Facebook Marketplace. I really don't want to buy anything brand new, especially since my backyard, it doesn't look and it's not set up the way that I want it to look in the end. So I don't think I want to spend a lot of money on furniture and lights until it's at the end result. So yeah, we'll just be looking on Facebook Marketplace for furniture and like a fire pit and stuff. But I'm very excited that we even have that space to do things with friends and family this summer. So that's gonna be really fun. But anyway, those are the goals for the month of May. Now let's quickly get into the book wrap up so I can talk about the books that I read pretty much in the beginning of the year. Grab your coffee if you like books. Follow me on Goodreads if you're not following me already. If you don't like this portion, you can feel free to skip ahead. Recently, in the month of April, I celebrated my anniversary with my boyfriend, and he got me a Kindle, and it's the best because I read this every single night, and I can't wait to have this to just read in the backyard, at the beach, because that's one of the reasons I got this, is because the screen is amazing in the sunlight. So we're not in the product section yet, but this is one of my favorite products that I use every single day. So my current read is Allegedly. It's a novel by Tiffany D. Jackson, and so far I'm like 50% done with this book. I would rate this book like a 3 out of 5. I think I really liked the concept, and I like that there's a mystery behind it. So it's about this girl who allegedly murdered this baby, and now we're getting her point of view and her story from within this group home that she lives with. Like, she gets bullied, it's horrible, and now she's going through all these like life changes. She has terrible traumas with her mom, and a lot of it is like somewhat relatable, and it's also interesting, and there's like a mystery behind it. I'm halfway through the book and I still don't really know how she murdered the girl, so there is mystery behind it, but I feel like the mystery is kind of getting dragged on because like we're halfway through the book and I still don't really know what's happening. So it's kind of like a slow moving plot in my opinion, and because of that I'm giving it like a 3 out of 5. I read about 5 books since January, which I'm pretty proud of because I think my goal for this year is to read 15 books, so I'm already almost 1/3 of the way there. So the first book that I read at the beginning of the year was One of Us is Dead by Geneva Rose. She's the author of The Perfect Marriage, and I honestly love that book. I think I read that one in literally one night. Like, I stayed up all night just to read it because it was so good. But One of Us is Dead, I thought I would love it just because Geneva Rose wrote it, and I've gotta say I wasn't super impressed with this book. I feel like I had high expectations because of who the author was and also some of the reviews that I read, but it was just okay. It was kind of giving like Desperate Housewives with like the kind of drama, small town feel within a big city, wealthy wives, and kind of like the drama behind that. There was a murder and it was covered up, and you're kind of trying to figure out who committed the murder and how it came to be. And so at the end, there definitely is a plot twist. Like, she didn't miss with that. However, I don't know that everything was pieced together very well at the end. If you like really want to get into it logically, I will say that the plot twist was pretty good. Like, it did take me by surprise. So because of that, I really liked it. And also, I don't feel like I'm like a hard judger. I'm not like super critical on books or authors. I just think if the book brought me joy or it was an interesting read, then it was a great book in my opinion. And I do think that it was interesting, but I do feel like the plot moved a little bit slowly. So if you like things to be like very exciting the whole time, this book is probably not for you. The second book that I read this year is The Silent Patient. That one, I feel like I started it last year and I couldn't really get into it, and so this year I decided to restart it, and I did give it a 4 out of 5 because I think that it was really interesting. This one had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I feel like the plot twist was really good, how we kind of came to learn about like what actually happened. There was a lot of like back and forth in terms of like time frame, and I really enjoyed it. I think I ended up reading this book in like 2 days because it was just so good. There were little parts where it was a little bit eerie, kind of like Verity a little bit. Yeah, and I will say the plot twist was pretty crazy. Like, I wasn't expecting it. Well, actually towards the end I think I was kind of expecting it just because there weren't a ton of characters that were introduced. It was like process of elimination in a way, but it was definitely a really good psychological thriller. And also I do leave like little reviews on Goodreads, so if you want to follow me on there just to like check it out, then feel free to do that. After finishing The Silent Patient, I decided to give Geneva Rose another shot, and I read another book written by her called You Shouldn't Have Come Here. I rated that 3 out of 5. It wasn't a bad read, and even in my review I said it was like a 3.5 out of 5. It was like not exactly a 4, but it also wasn't so boring that it was a 3. I will say it's just a very casual read. There wasn't like a ton of suspense throughout the book. I would say it was giving more so of a romancy feel throughout like 75% of the book. And I personally like romance books. I don't usually like romance books just for the sake of romance. I prefer a book that has a mix of genres, and I feel like this one did that in a really interesting way. There was a little bit of romance, there was also thriller, and there was definitely psychological thriller by the end of it because you were just like, what? Like, the end was very much unexpected to me personally, but I will say there was like a lot of questions left unanswered at the end of the book. So if you don't like books that end like that, then maybe this isn't for you. But I think if you do like psychological thrillers, romance books, something that's just a very easy read, not complicated at all, easy to get through, quick read, fun again for like the first 75% of the book, then it was definitely a good read and I recommend. I decided to try out Frida McFadden because I've heard a lot of great things about this author, and now I know that her books are also free on Kindle, so I'll probably be giving her another shot. But I read Never Lie by Frida McFadden, and I will say that it was a 4 out of 5. It was pretty good. I feel like it started out already pretty interesting. I think it was also kind of relatable to me because it's like these two newlyweds that are looking to buy a new house together. And I had literally just bought my house recently. And so I started reading this right away. Like, it's the idea that they're looking for a new house and they get stuck out in the middle of nowhere, and the suspense begins from the very beginning. It's like definitely a thriller, a psychological thriller throughout, I would say, the majority of the plot. So this one was very well written, in my opinion. There was also a really good plot twist, which apparently Frida McFadden is known for, but I don't really read a ton of books by her, so I can't really say myself. But I will say that this book was really interesting. Definitely worth 4 out of 5 stars. After that, I would say this is probably my favorite book that I've read by far so far in 2024, and that is Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This book, I feel like, is the most interesting of the books that I've read thus far, and I think it has the most layers to it and provokes the most amount of thought, which are things that I love and enjoy. And of course, there's a time and a place for this because I also love books that are just easy, not super complicated, as you've seen the books that I've read so far. But this one I feel like was very interesting and thought-provoking. The premise of it is that there's 2 fathers, one is white, one is black, and their sons were married. So their sons were in this interracial gay marriage, happily married, and they were murdered because of that. So it was like a hate murder. And the fathers kind of joined together and seek to avenge their sons. And it's a really interesting story with multiple different layers that cause you to really think about different social issues and the intersectionality of these issues, race and family dynamics and marriage and traumas and dysfunctional family relationships. There's so many different things that happen in this book, and I think it's definitely worth the read. And like I said, it's very thought-provoking, and at the same time it does deliver in giving you kind of like the thriller feel and trying to figure out who murdered their sons and why did they do it. But at the same time, I will say that at times it was kind of slow moving, so keep that in mind. But overall, I still think that this was probably the best book that I've read thus far. So that's why in my review I even said like 10 out of 10 for the plot and like the depth of the book, but 7 out of 10 for the delivery. So do with that what you will, but I still think it's definitely worth a read. I'm also trying to read a lot more books that are written by Black authors and people of color, and this one is written by a Black man. So I think just having books written by people of color or people from different races gives you a whole different perspective, even if it is still like fictional writing. It's just so much more thought-provoking because of that. Those are all of the books that I've read so far in 2024. This is definitely one of my favorites from this month because I've just been loving reading a book every single night. Like, honestly, it's life-changing because on here, like, there's no blue light you have to worry about. I always have the warm light on, and it helps me really get ready to sleep, and it helps me just like relax, and it's my favorite thing that I've added into my night routine lately. But besides that, another thing that I got this month was these Govee smart light bulbs. They're just amazing because you can add them to any lamp or light fixture in your house, and then you can literally connect to your phone and change all the settings. Like, you can change how warm it is, how bright it is. It just connects to Wi-Fi and it's super easy. I also purchased this set of microfiber bath towels. I really liked the color, the waffle like material, and also the fact that it's a microfiber towel. It's so nice because they dry so quickly on their own. As a plus size girly, sometimes it's hard for me to just shop at regular stores and find like sizes that work for me within a reasonable price because I feel like a lot of plus size stores are actually pretty expensive. So I needed to find some 100% cotton underwear. Yes, they're black, they're basic, they're not like super cute and lacy, but I feel like the older I get, it's so much more important for me to have something that's functional, good for my health. It's 100% cotton. These are probably the most comfortable underwear that I've had because I always find underwear that are like 75% cotton, but they're never actually truly 100% cotton and in my size. And yeah, I feel like it's been really great. Ooh, I recently used this backpack that I bought for a flight that I took to DC to visit some of my friends, and it was so fun. But I had to share this backpack, y'all, because this is truly gonna be like the travel backpack for me. It was just so convenient. It has so many pockets. I could easily put everything in there, and it was on sale for like, I think $25. Full price, it says it's $40. It not only comes with the travel backpack itself, which has like straps in the back so that you can easily hook it onto your carry-on like rolling luggage if you have one of those. It also comes with a couple little clear plastic containers that you can use for like toiletries or hygienic stuff like skincare or makeup. And it was perfect. I was able to fit everything in there for a 4-day trip, and it made me reimagine packing and travel forever. Like I will always try to pack just the right amount instead of overpack, because I've always been an overpacking girly, and it's honestly very stressful when you get home. You have so many things to wash or just to put away. And lastly, I just recently purchased this and I love it so much. Like seriously, how cute is this? It's this like oversized vest that I got off of Amazon. It's comfy, it's cozy, it comes in larger sizes and like actually fits well. It's also like stretchy in the right places. I just feel like it's so cute and so cozy and fashionable, and also like warm but not hot because it's springtime. I don't really need something that's super warm, and I bought it for $32, which I feel like is 100% worth the price because I wear it all the time now, especially when it's like gonna be chilly at night but maybe it's warm during the day. Love that the sizes were pretty inclusive, and I think it's pretty true to size. I think I got this in 2X, which is like my normal size. I go anywhere from extra large to 2X. I swear this is my month to get my life back together. I still need to do my budget. I haven't even caught up because I didn't do last month's budget on my budget sheet, and I need to do that, but I still wanted to get this video out for you guys, which is why I didn't share that here. But I'm thinking of potentially doing like a budget breakdown on TikTok and Instagram, like doing like a what I spent this month, so that I can still share those things and we can still reset our budget together, but it'll be a little bit, hopefully a little bit easier for me to edit it, because that part of the vlog usually takes me forever to edit. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Let me know what your goals are for May as well, and how your goals went for April. But I love you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all in the next video.